Kuuntele lähetystä missä ja milloin vain osoitteessa radiokaleva.fi.
Radio Kaleva.
Hulikakku. Keittiöiden sankareille ja sujuville syöjille.
Kuuntelet Radio Kalevan Hulikakkua. Tällä viikolla puhutaan kielillä. Meillä on tuttu juttukaveri, mies, joka on käynyt täällä ennenkin meillä kylässä Radio Kalevassa, mutta ei vielä Hulikakussa. Hän on ehta britti Rumon Gamba, joka johtaa Oulun Sinfonia-orkesteria pääkapellimestarina. Ja Rumon, olen kuullut, on myös kova laittamaan ruokaa ja siksi hänet on pyydetty mukaan tänne Hulikakkuun. Rumon, welcome to Radio Kaleva yet again.
Thank you, nice to be here.
Lovely. And we have a good topic. We won't talk about symphony, conducting a symphony orchestra this time. More about food. Some small questions in the beginning, if I may.
Of course.
What did you have for breakfast?
Oh my goodness, I have what I always have, which is yogurt and some granola or muesli kind of thing. Yeah,
every morning.
Yeah, because if I have like something with bread or like that, I get really hungry quickly. But this one keeps me going until lunch.
Lovely. What would be a perfect lunch?
A perfect lunch. I'm so British that I always tend to have this sort of small lunch and then eat bigger in the evening. But perfect lunch, I think maybe just some fish and simple like that.
A food memory from your childhood, what would it be?
Oh, I think it has to be this shepherd's pie, which we have in England, which is sort of meat mince with mashed potato on top. It's very typical.
What would you cook to impress someone?
That's a good question. Something that takes a lot of time. I love to do low and slow, so cooking something for 4 or 5 hours, so it shows there's a bit of love.
What could it be?
In there. Some stew maybe, like that. Yeah.
Wintry stew.
Yeah, exactly.
Home alone, how do you treat yourself?
Yeah, can be quite indulgent. Actually, I'm not eating so much meat anymore, only on special occasions. So maybe a special occasion steak or something, a bit naughty, but nice.
Naughty but nice. That sounds good. Rumon Gamba, Oulun Sinfoniaorkesterin kapellimestari meillä siis täällä juttukaverina Hulikakussa.
Hulikakku. Keittiöiden sankareille ja sujuville syöjille.
Radio Kaleva.
Kuuntelet Radio Kalevaa ja Hulikakkua. Me jutellaan tänään kielillä, puhutaan englanniksi, koska meillä on britti kapellimestari, Oulun Sinfoniaorkesterin kapellimestari Rumon Gamba kylässä. Rumon, once again, welcome to Radio Kaleva.
Thank you very much.
And our Hulikakku show.
Yes.
Where we talk about food.
Perfect.
And now we have an actual foodie here, right?
Yeah, completely.
Yes.
Completely.
I was stalking your Instagram account and it was full of food.
Yeah, that's what my Instagram account is. I keep that for food, usually my own food, but occasionally some when I'm traveling.
How did you become a foodie?
I think it's, my mother let me cook in the kitchen when I was very young, and I used to cook for me and my sister. But traveling life as a conductor, I get all over the world, and something that keeps me sane is seeking out interesting places to eat. Sometimes fine dining, and sometimes the sort of street food. So that keeps me occupied when I'm on my own.
Okay, so you've sort of been a foodie since childhood.
Yeah. For sure, yeah. Maybe more simple in those days, but at least interested in food, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What kind of cook are you?
I get asked this a lot. I change with the sort of every few months, so I'll be completely fixated on one particular cookbook. I have like 200 books of food.
What are you fixated on now?
At the moment, it's this sort of really trying to get as much flavour out of vegetarian and sort of vegan food, so pulses and beans. So I've got some really nice cookbooks about that. So, and that's quite good here because I have a very simple, small kitchen here. So I try to get the best flavour from limited ingredients and limited equipment.
When I was going through your Instagram account, I saw, a lot of vegetarian food, vegetables, fish, lots of grilling.
Yeah, lots of grilling. I'm really into to grilling. So I've got this big green egg, which is this sort of ceramic grill, and I've also now got this ability to cook on wood. So a big sort of grill setup, a lot of metal cages, and you can hang meat and you can grill things and slow cook things. So yeah, the smell of wood is well, of course, in Finland.
Yeah, the wood grill, the big one that you just described. My husband is green of envy when he sees the picture. I send it to him, the picture of your wood grill, because he's been dying to get one of those. Yeah. Is it sort of like an Argentinian style?
Exactly that.
Type?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the lady who makes it is originally from Bolivia or something, actually, but she now lives in England and wanted to bring this South American style to the UK. So they make these, and they make them to. You can get them any size you want, so you could even fit them in the perfect space in your garden. But yeah, it's wonderful, and it completely dismantles. It's supposed to be portable, so you can take it to the beach. It's a little bit big for that, but yeah, or camping or something. But I just love it.
Hulikakku. Keittiöiden sankareille ja sujuville syöjille.
Congratulations. The beginning of this year, the Symphony Orchestra announced that you will be conducting them all the way until the end of 28.
28, exactly. Yes. Yeah, we're just extending our relationship a little bit, which is wonderful. Yeah.
Yes, you have started with us Oulu people 2022?
22, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it will be a 6-year period altogether here in Oulu.
Yeah, really exciting. And we really wanted to try and get the energy that this Capital of Culture year in 26 is going to give us, and not to let everything drop afterwards. So I think it's great that I can do 2 more years to keep things going and build upon what we achieved this year.
Yeah, and you've already come so familiar with, of course, the Oulu Symphony Orchestra and all the people working there, with Oulu people and Oulu city. Food-wise, what did you know about the Finnish cuisine before coming here?
Very little, actually. I knew the Karelian pastries because I had
Karjalan piirakka.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd been to Finland to work with other orchestras before a little bit, and I remember that. But otherwise, not much at all. I've worked much in Sweden and Norway and Denmark, but actually, Finnish food is a little bit different than their Scandinavian kind of food.
Well, you've had time to get accustomed now. The Finnish cuisine and food culture, how does it show up in your eyes?
I mean, I'm really as we talked about, I'm really into sort of grilling, and I love the sort of smokiness that is added to food. So all the different kinds of way of doing salmon is amazing to me. So I'll just stand in the supermarket looking at all the salmon things, because we just have in England smoked salmon, which is really boring and doesn't taste that nice. But here there seems to be so many different styles of that.
Yeah.
The cold and the hot smoked and the big ones, and then the sort of gravlax style. So that's really interesting. Obviously, I'm really interested also in the way in preserving food, and I've been looking back in the English way of preservation before refrigerators were here.
Wow.
I'm interested here when you see things that are preserved or dried for the future. I think that's interesting. And fermented things I love.
Yeah. How about those fish eggs? I don't know if it's a proper name for the matti.
Yeah, they're sort of called caviar, I think, or not quite as, high level.
Yeah. But like salmon caviar and whatnot. I heard, I didn't know that it was a big thing, but one lady who really knows the French culture and cuisine, she said that the French are crazy about the salmon caviar and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, it's delicious, but
But you have it in Britain also.
Yeah, again, it can be some bad stuff. So just seeking up the really top level stuff is perfect.
Okay, so you're into the Finnish salmon food. What else?
Well, obviously I've been interested in reindeer. In fact, we spent Christmas here with my family because we've been working in the opera before Christmas and after Christmas. So it was just wonderful. And I thought I have to get some reindeer to cook. And that was our Christmas lunch or Christmas dinner.
Okay.
So that
what
was
did your family
fun.
think about it?
Yeah, I'm not sure the kids were. I mean, they're 17 and 19, but they were still. It's Santa's reindeer I'm eating.
Yeah, well, the idea of Santa's,
But actually, it was delicious, and we just had a very simple way of cooking it, but a little bit rare in the middle, and it was delicious.
Yeah,
so, they enjoyed the taste.
How about talking about the British cuisine and food culture? Of course, we have the for everlasting idea of the fish and chips and the mashed peas and whatnot. But what is British cuisine nowadays?
It's really interesting because it's come such a long way. There are so many different areas, and of course, it's influenced by. But being in London, there's so many people coming from all over. But I think it's really interesting when people refine the old recipes. So we have what we call nursery food, which is all the stuff we grew up eating, and it could just be like this beige, grey slop. But it's nice that people are taking the elements of that and really refining it and making it into this sort of fine dining. There's this traditional...
So the old stuff is doing a renaissance.
Really?
Yeah.
It's lovely. And there's this dish called Lancashire hot pot, which is what the shepherds took out to the fields with them. And I had the most amazing version of it, cooked by a famous chef. And you'd think there'd be 200 ingredients in this thing, but it was just literally onions, lamb, potato, and a little bit of chicken stock, just cooked for hours perfectly. And wow, incredible. The techniques that these guys have from their training to put it back onto this sort of English food and elevate it is amazing.
Okay, that's interesting. What's your favorite part from the British cuisine?
I think it's this kind of simple way of doing things and slow cooking things, which people used to do in the old days, because you didn't want to waste the heat of heating the oven or the stove, the fire. So just cooking things low and slow, and it's getting the maximum flavour out of things. And I think we try to take so many shortcuts nowadays. And when I'm sort of telling people about how to cook, like my kids or whatever, it's like the onions. Spend time cooking the onions slowly. It makes such a difference, because it's always the first thing you start is with onions.
Yeah.
People rush that, and you can taste sort of raw onion in the dish at the end. So spend 10-15 minutes slowly cooking these onions so they're sweet. Then get on with the rest of the recipe. Just be patient.
Hulikakku. Keittiöiden sankareille ja sujuville syöjille.
Radio Kaleva.
What's there in common conducting a symphony orchestra and cooking?
Well,
you didn't see this coming, did you?
No, I didn't. They're both very creative things.
Yeah.
In fact, the French call a conductor chef d'orchestre. So this is just perfect. And so with
mixing the right ingredients is making it something bigger than the little pieces.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not completely improvised. So there's set things, the ingredients and the recipe. But when it comes to it, every dish ends up tasting slightly different. And that's what I want in orchestral performance. We have the notes, we have the musicians, they've practiced, but then just that extra something gives the performance a lift and takes it somewhere else.
Are you big in improvising when cooking, or do you look at the recipe?
I'm really big on trying. If it's a new recipe, I want to follow it exactly. Then I understand what I can play with afterwards. So I'll often take one recipe, and then once I've done it once, expand upon it, and then it sort of goes into my brain, and I've got some dishes that I cook completely from memory, but it must have started with a recipe way back when, and I can't remember what it was, but it's developed. I like that.
I've heard that you also at least sort of mix your symphony conducting life and your foodie hobby. I heard that when you've had some kind of events with the colleagues from Oulu Sinfonian Orchestra, you've conducted this food war, ruokasota, kokkisota.
A little bit. It was very friendly. We had our Christmas party, and we had a bunch of people who cooked something each, and I was in charge of the soup. Which was quite an effort for 40 people.
What did you make?
In the end, it was because we just had so little time because of the rehearsals in the opera. But I did sweet potato and sweet potato soup. Yeah, kind of what else was in there? Oh, it's butternut squash with a little bit of spice. And then we had this piima and aura, this blue cheese, little sauce to finish it off with.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, that was
But was it sort of like kokkisota, how the program has gone in the late, that you get some ingredients you just need to make up something?
Oh, no, we decided beforehand what we were going to do. But there was a lot of us working together in the kitchen, which was super. It's really hard for the musicians to sort of, they're so used to me instructing them. So I think some of them are just waiting for me to tell them what to do. And I was like, no, let's do this together.
Yeah. I've also heard from your Oulu friends that you are eager to cook, have friends over. Already when starting, I asked, how would you impress someone when cooking? But what would be the kind of thing that you would cook for friends coming over?
I think, again, it depends what mood I'm in. It depends what phase I'm in. So once I had a real, I wanted to make Indian food all the time. So and people are quite impressed by that because they tend to just have Indian as takeaway food and the typical stuff
and that's
that they
quite
cook.
British also, isn't it?
Quite British, yeah. So to have something a little bit more refined. And then I was in a Chinese mood, and I've got some wonderful, proper Chinese cookbooks that aren't anything like the Chinese takeaways we have. There's a really good writer, Fuchsia Dunlop, who lived in China and researched all of these recipes, and I just love to cook for that. So something like that, which people think they know, but then they come to you and you can impress a little bit.
But you said earlier that you have a veggie phase at the moment.
Yes.
So you could now maybe you would cook some vegetarian dish.
Yes, probably, because again, as I say, I'm interested in getting maximum flavour from these ingredients. People think can be very bland, the vegetarian food, or it's all going to be sort of this tofu, which doesn't taste of anything. But actually, if you handle it well, one of my favourite dishes is mapo tofu. It's not quite vegetarian, but it's tofu with the tiniest bit of pork mince and in hot sauce, and this is wonderful. Yeah.
Wow. Is there some specific ingredient that you absolutely love and you keep on using all the time?
Oh gosh. You know what? I really, it's underrated, but tomato puree.
Oh.
Yeah, it's funny because the recipes say add tomato puree, but if you actually add it earlier on, just after onions, and cook it a lot so it goes really dark and intense, it not only thickens your food, but it adds this layer of umami under there. And so I think that is underrated, and used in the right way, it can be amazing.
Siinä vinkki Rumon Gambalta innokkaille kotikokeille. Älä aliarvioi tomaattipyrettä, vaan oikein käytettynä siitä voi saada mahtavaa umamia omaan ruoanlaittoon.
Hulikakku. Keittiöiden sankareille ja sujuville syöjille.
Rumon, because of your work, you have had the opportunity to travel all around world. And listening to you, it seems that you also like food from different parts of the world.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what I was saying. I have about 200 cookbooks from all different parts of the world, and I'll get obsessed with just spending a few months cooking in one style. But yeah, I've been very lucky to travel to almost every continent in the world. Well, every continent in the world. But and some of the food experiences have been astonishing. Being in
tell something.
Well, I'm just thinking about being in Japan, where they have a completely different food culture, and just sitting in this, the fish market and eating sushi there. It's a cliche, but that is something completely different. Or sitting in Sydney Harbour and eating what they call Moreton Bay bugs, which are like little mini lobsters, so fresh. But so often it's the food, but it's the surroundings you're there with. Or being in the sort of rural Spain, I love the sort of poor dishes that came from the past.
Yeah.
Simple but hearty and wonderful.
Yeah. Cucina povera, like they say it in English. Yeah, that type of stuff. Yeah. And is it so that when you come back home, you try to recreate some of the stuff that you've had?
Completely, yes. I'll always bring back either an ingredient or a recipe or a piece of kitchenware, that would help. I love earthenware, like terracotta, unglazed terracotta. It adds so much flavour to food. So I've got a wonderful tagine, which wasn't very expensive, but if you just put some meat and onions and vegetables and the lid on, somehow the clay pot adds extra flavor to the food. It's amazing.
Okay. Is there anything you've brought to Britain here from Finland? An Oulu?
I'm just trying to think.
Yeah, think hard.
I really wanted to try to make this dark bread, this sari.
Saaristolaisleipä.
Exactly, yeah. So I started off...
A bit sweet dark bread.
So I bought back a mixture of that you could just do at home. So
Those are good ones.
That was tasty, actually, because I love to make bread as well.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time...
Also baking.
Baking, yeah. So I have a really, really old Finnish starter from a friend, a rye starter to make the sourdough.
Taikinajuuri.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
okay.
He told me it was over 100 years old in his family. So
My goodness,
I've kept that going.
A treasure.
I love it, but I think it's probably evolving now because obviously it lives in England.
Yeah.
And it must take the yeast from the air from England. So it's definitely a Finnish-English mixture, but it's still very strong and makes wonderful bread.
Okay, so some Finnish baking now happening in Great Britain. Have you bought any cooking books from here to England?
Yes, I've got one or two old ones that I picked up in a second-hand market, and I just use Google Translate. So it's very, very rough sort of things. But because again, the bread, I wanted to learn how to make the different flat breads and rye breads, and it's really interesting. All of the English books sort of tell you in a much quicker way. The Finnish bread seems to take a long time.
Yeah.
Because the rye takes a long time to activate. So, it's been
of course, as Finns, we are obsessed with our rye bread.
Yeah.
Do you have a taste for it now?
I do, very much so, yeah. I'll always, even if I'm making a white bread, I'll always add some rye in there just to give it that extra bit of flavour.
Okay.
It's not something we have so much in the UK, the rye bread, but I love to make it.
What's your family saying about Finnish rye bread?
They like it. They like it, yes, yeah. Usually, maybe not the really sweet one, but they eat it. They eat it.
At least,
yes.
Yeah. And when it's hot from the oven and just butter.
No, I'm a bit of like a policeman with that. I don't think bread should be eaten straight from the oven because it hasn't finished cooking yet.
Okay.
So when a bread comes out, it is still developing and you need to leave it for at least 1 hour, sometimes overnight, for it just to sort itself out. It's not good for your stomach to eat it straight from the oven either. It hasn't had time to sort anyway. So I'm a bit like that.
A bit fussy like that.
Hulikakku. Keittiöiden sankareille ja sujuville syöjille.
It's obvious that you're obsessed with food and cooking. Is it something that every day you need to go to the kitchen, make something?
At home, for sure. Yeah, I think it's to do with something normal because this conducting life is so weird. I'm away most of the time from home. It could be a different country each week. And you get this concerts, and you're treated sometimes like a superstar, and you're like VIP. And I'm really simple, kind of introvert, really. So I'm happy to come back home and do some jobs in the garden and do the cooking and just be a little bit, more domestic and simple. And because I'm not grand at all, and so I kind of like this normality of cooking and routine.
Yeah, and the concert is a moment. It comes and goes.
Yeah.
And then you have the actual food or the garden and the ground and
that's
everything.
Real life. Yes, definitely.
Yeah. How would you describe yourself as a cook?
I would say it's the same as my music, varied. I love a bit of everything. I couldn't just do the same music all the time. It has to be different kinds of classical music. And the same with food. I wouldn't cook the same things. Some people cook, like, on Monday we have this, every Monday, and every Tuesday we have this, and it's really boring. So I kind of like freestyle and say, okay, today we're going to have this. And I'll often just go to the shops to buy specific ingredients for that. Or other times it's just, what have I got in the fridge? Oh, okay, let's freestyle. So a bit of everything. Yeah, that's me.
Do you like your own time in the kitchen, or do you allow some people to cook with you?
I wish my wife could hear this. No.
She can. She definitely can. The podcast.
Yeah. No. it's me on my own. Everyone else is banished from the kitchen, which suits my wife fine because she doesn't cook or doesn't really like cooking. In fact, I spend my free time at home cooking enough food for them all when I'm away for the freezer.
Oh wow, the freezer is full when you leave.
Freezer's full, yes, exactly.
So now they're having all the stuff from the freezer, and then when it's empty and vanished,
it's time for me to come home.
It's time to yeah.
But no, I'm a real. It's terrible, isn't it? Because cooking should be about sharing, but I'm a little bit specific and
I know people like you. My husband is the same kind. He doesn't. Yeah, so I understand.
I'm happy to have people there drinking a glass of wine while I cook, but not allowed to interfere. No.
Yeah, that's fine. It's the early times of this year, 2026, January, February, coming up. What kind of winter food do you make at the moment?
It's always stews and something cozy. And in fact, last night I think I cooked it was like a spiced bean stew. I cooked it for ages and then I baked an egg into the top of it. So it was very, stick a little bread in there. And it was this sort of comfort, warming food. And then as things heat up, I just can't wait to get outside. And even in March in England, I'm outside grilling stuff already.
Yeah.
So, but for now, it's the hug of a warm bowl of soup or stew or something.
That sounded amazing what you just described. Is there some kind of, could you give out the recipe now?
Oh yeah, it's really simple. It just always starts with onions and garlic, then tomato puree, maybe crushed tomatoes. Let them cook for a while because I think tomatoes take a while to take on. Either you have them very fresh or take them further so they get dark. I didn't add any splash of red wine this time, but I could have done a tiny bit of balsamic vinegar just to lift the beans, white beans in, and then just let them putter away. Chili, paprika, that kind of thing. Just maybe some cinnamon, cumin, whatever you've got at hand. Salt and pepper, and then I just crack an egg in the top of it and put a lid on, and it cooks. Simple.
That's beautiful. Rumon Gamba, I was so happy to have you yet again here at Radio Kaleva, and this time at Hulikakku. Thank you so much for visiting.
Thank you, it's been great.
Hulikakku. Keittiöiden sankareille ja sujuville syöjille. Kuuntele lähetystä missä ja milloin vain osoitteessa radiokaleva.fi.
Radio Kaleva.